everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith E. Phillips. I'm a writer, reader, and bunny mama, and today I wanted to share with you my old writing routine that was never actually a very solid routine, and the new routine I plan to use going forward with a big asterisk next to it. So if you've been around here for a while, you probably remember way back at the beginning of the year, I had set out a writing routine for myself in which I was going to write for an hour on 4 days of the week. That would give me a total of 4 hours of writing time during the week, and that was what I felt was realistic to manage. That didn't mean that I would never do more than that, but that was what I was aiming for as an average across my week. However, if you've been around for a while, you might remember that that never really became a hardcore habit for me. I could do that some weeks, but a lot of weeks I would miss a day or two, and it never really became a solid thing in my life. There were various reasons that I thought this routine would work for me, and it could have potentially, but I did run into some problems, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute, and I think I found a new solution for me that might work better. Now, of course, all of this is very catered to me and my process and my life situation. I'm not saying obviously that this will work for everybody. I'm just sharing what's working for me. If you want to give it a go and it fits within your life situation, go for it. I think it's been a lot of fun changing things around, and it's been more productive for me. So let's go over the pros and cons of that original writing routine I'd set for myself, and then I'll share with you the new writing routine that I've come up with and the pros and cons for that. So with only doing an hour at a time on 4 days of the week, the biggest benefit I think was that an hour of time isn't a super long time. Writing can be a mentally taxing effort, as I'm sure many of you are aware, and spending an hour writing or doing writing related work isn't too much of a time period or too much of an ask. All in all, it's a relatively short period of time, and most of the time I can maintain focus on a project for at least an hour. The other benefit to writing multiple times throughout the week is that it doesn't allow for too much time in between your writing sessions, so it's easier to remember what you had finished with the last time. It keeps the story and where you were in the process fresh in your mind. Also, by only writing 4 times a week for an hour each time, if you do happen to miss a day, it is conceivable and possible and realistic to expect that you could catch up on one of the other days. So for example, if I didn't write on Wednesday for an hour, I could always add an extra hour to Saturday. That way at the end of that week, I would still end up with the same number of hours having written. However, there were definitely some cons to this writing routine. Again, for me personally, these are the cons. The biggest problem that I was running into was that this of course required me to do an 8-hour workday at my regular day job and then turn around and sit here for another hour doing concentrated writing work. That is really difficult. I know a lot of you do that. I think pretty much everyone here has full-time jobs or you're in school and you don't really have a choice. If you want to write, you're gonna have to push yourself to do things during times that maybe aren't super convenient, but that's the time you have. I was running into the issue of, when am I doing this hour of writing work on a weekday? The idea of getting up from my work desk, my day job work desk, and turning around and sitting over here for another hour was exhausting. But if I waited until I had taken a little bit of a break, eaten some dinner, and then tried to come back here at like 8 o'clock in the evening, I was tired from a long day of being awake and doing adult things. I didn't want to sit down for an hour and do really focused work. That's hard to do. The other problem I was finding was gaining back the writing momentum. I don't know about you, but when I sit down to do any kind of writing session, whether it's 30 minutes, an hour, all day, whatever, there's usually a period of time right at the beginning. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, other times it's more like 15 or 20 minutes, where I need to review what I did last time and decide what I'm gonna do this time. And then I kind of need to get into the flow. I don't find it very easy, for me at least, to sit down and just immediately start typing typing or brainstorming and like going. My brain at least does not work that way. I think that's true for a lot of writers. Let me know in the comments, is that, you know, do you struggle just to get rolling when you're starting a writing session? I certainly do. I feel like writing is very similar to a lot of athletics. You know, a runner doesn't go out to a track and immediately like start sprinting. They do warm-ups, they get their body ready to do that kind of activity, and then they go sprint. For writers, you kind of need a little bit of a brain warm-up to get yourself in the headspace and to be ready to write. And I was finding that, you know, if I was taking an hour to write, 5 to 20 minutes of that was just this sort of warm-up period where I wasn't really making any kind of headway or progress in whatever part of the process I was in. I was just sitting there and rereading things and reviewing and looking around in my document and just kind of like getting into that headspace again, which in my mind, that wasn't making forward progress, so I didn't really like counting it as writing time, you know what I mean? So I was only maybe getting 45 minutes of actual progress writing done. So I ended up trying something a little different. At the end of May, I posted a video saying I wrote all day, and I had been inspired by Autumn Ashley's video. I'll link her channel and this particular video below. She had done an all-day writing session for herself, and it looked so chill. It looked so relaxing, and I was like, I'm gonna try that and see how long I can focus on writing work during the day. And that's what I did. I did this all last month as well to see if I could maintain that kind of a schedule, and I could. It was really nice. So let me share the pros of this new type of writing schedule I have for myself, as well as some cons, because I do want to be honest, there are definitely some downsides to it. One of the pros is that I could look forward to this particular day of the week and know that, okay, this day is going to be my writing day. That's all I have to do all day long. And so I could kind of mentally prepare myself for that. The other great thing about this is kind of going back to that maintaining the momentum and getting the momentum going at the beginning of a writing session. Instead of having to spend 5 to 20 minutes multiple times during the week getting back into the flow of writing, I had to do that once at the beginning of the day, and then I was going for hours with this momentum. I wasn't having to stop because it was time for bed. The other really great thing about this is because I had all day and because I had prepped things the day before in order to have all day, and I'm usually doing this on a weekend because obviously weekdays I'm at my job most of the time, I was able to sleep in a little bit, start my day not rushing to get ready for work, having some time to drink some coffee, to eat some breakfast, taking a shower, just sort of easing into the day the way a lot of us I think like to do when we have the ability to do that. It just made the whole day relaxed. I felt rested because I was able to sleep in a little longer than I normally am, and it made the whole day just very chill. I didn't have to worry about trying to squeeze in a little bit of writing time after I'd already used up a lot of my brain power on my job. The other interesting thing this did is it left my weekdays feeling very open and less stressful. I wasn't having to like jump from work to do writing and then to go make dinner and eat dinner, and also I want to pet the bunnies, and also I want to play a few video games and like chill for a second. Like, I didn't have to try to squeeze in all these other activities to a weekday. I felt like there was less pressure to be productive. I could sit for an hour or more playing video games. I could sit with the bunnies and pet them and interact with them. Also, because I usually am using the day before to do video making and editing and all that kind of stuff, household chores, all of that other stuff is done. So when I sit down to write on these days, there's nothing else that needs to be done. And that makes the writing session feel very relaxed. I'm not rushing to try to get through it so that I can go and do these other tasks I have for myself. All I have to do is write. And for me personally, it's much easier to vlog, which I know if you don't have a YouTube channel, that's obviously not something you need to worry about, but I do. And with the old routine, I was having to vlog like in the middle of the week and throughout the weekend. It just felt like I was constantly having to pull out my camera to film and vlog and blah, blah, blah. For me, that got kind of exhausting. So with this routine, I really only have my camera and my lights and all the equipment out on the weekend. And then it goes away on my handy little wall mount out shelf, and I don't have to think about, oh, I need the memory card, oh, I need to change the battery, oh, I get that can be a lot, and it can be kind of exhausting setting everything up to get a vlog clip. So I don't have to do that anymore. Now, there are definitely some cons to this. The first con is that it does take a little bit longer for me to review where I left off. I need time to look back over my notes, figure out what I had finished with, where I need to continue, pick up the threads of what I was doing and continue on. That does take a little bit of time, and it takes time to refresh my memory while I'm getting going on the project. The other con that I found out is that if you get sick, or you're really feeling junky one day, or you're just not in the headspace to write on the day that you have decided is your writing day, then you're either not going to get a lot of work done if you try to push yourself to do it, or you're going to miss a whole day completely. And really what that means is you've missed a whole week's worth of writing work. And if you get behind, so to speak, with this type of routine, you can't just say, oh, I'll add, another hour to the next time. You're missing out on 4 to 6 hours maybe of writing time, and that's not easy to catch up on. So there's less of a chance of you being able to catch up, so to speak, if you miss some time. So in conclusion, I really do like, despite those two little cons, I do really like having one full day where I can work on my writing all day. They're low pressure. I don't have to try to squeeze it in elsewhere throughout the week. I really like it, but I am gonna maybe change it. So here's the deal. If you watched last week's vlog, you saw that I finally finished the re-outline for my project model rom-com story, which I'm very excited about. And of course, now that the outline is done, I get to finally jump into the second draft of the book, which is basically going to be me rewriting the book from scratch for the most part. I love drafting. I love the part of the writing process where you can just sit down and write some words and create scenes and all that kind of stuff. That to me is not necessarily easy, but it's kind of easy. I can do it pretty quickly. If you were around last year for NaNoWriMo, you saw that I was able to get like 2,000 words a day on a weekday, no less, without too much of a struggle. It was doable for me. So I don't want to spend months and months doing this rewrite. I want to get it done so I can move on to the next stage in the revision process. So I am still going to try to maintain that one day a week that is exclusively for writing, but I'm also going to try to add in some time during the week to get in some extra words. And the reason I think this will be doable for me is, number one, I did do NaNoWriMo. I know I can write thousands of words on a weekday after my day job. And like I said, drafting in this way is relatively easy for me. I like doing it. It's not super difficult to get me to sit down and do that kind of work. It doesn't require as much brain power, again, for me as re-outlining and brainstorming and all that kind of stuff does. So I think it is doable to maintain the one day of the week and then do some more work throughout the week. My hope is that, and I'm filming this on, what's today? I'm filming this on the 11th, so we're not even quite halfway through the month at this point, and I'm hoping that I can finish draft 2 by the end of August. I know I can do 50,000 words in a month. That is not a problem for me. That's a challenge, but I know I can do it. The first draft ended up being around 60,000 words. I don't really have any notion of how long the second draft will be, probably around the same amount. So I'm hoping that, 50,000 words in August and then another 10 or 20,000 words by the end of this month. I think I can finish it by the end of August, which would be fantastic. So that's going to be my writing routine, my writing plan going forward for the next little while, and we'll see how that ends up for me. Let me know in the comments, what is your writing routine like, or do you even have a writing routine? I know a lot of times in different stages of life and different life circumstances, you just kind of take those pockets of time wherever you can find them, and they're not really consistent. So let me know what your general writing routine looks like. Let me know also if you would ever consider a writing routine like this, or if you can see problems problems with it that maybe I'm not seeing yet. I'd be interested to know that. And let me know, what is your biggest roadblock when it comes to writing and writing routines? Is it just that your life is unpredictable and it's hard to find a consistent time throughout the week? Is it a motivation issue for you? What is the biggest roadblock when it comes to a writing routine? I have somehow been talking for 24 minutes. I didn't think this video was going to be quite this long, but thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. You can find me over on Instagram at Meredith Phillips Writes, and you can head over to my website, meredithphillips.com, to sign up for my newsletter. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Want you back. That's the best NSYNC song. I said what I said. Now I've wasted 3 minutes. Editing me is gonna be like, can you please start? Good grief. What are you doing? I'm obviously fixing my hair so it looks amazing.